Good evening, good people. So thank you for being on here. I'm quite proud of myself, actually. So it's 8:02. So that's not too bad. Hope you're well, hope you're well, hope you're well. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Oops, I knew this was gonna happen. Okay, right, let's reposition ourselves. So think with these chairs, they like to move a bit too much. Good evening, good people. How are you? Hi, Anna. How are you doing? Lovely to have you on here, guys. Do share this vid. Thank you for being on here. Oh, wonderful people. Good evening. Hi, Shirley Ann. Thank you for jumping on here. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, Shirley Ann. How you doing? Hi, guys. As you join, it would be a great idea if you just shared this video. And also, again, to just say something in the comments box so I can acknowledge you. Hi, Princess. How are you doing? And Faye as well. Ahmad Doreen, how are you, my dear? Guys, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you, how are you, how are you? I think I'm fine. I know I'm tired today. Thank you, Shirley Ann, for sharing. Guys, if you're on here, please do share. And let's have a good conversation. Hi, Anita. Lovely to have you guys on here. So, Yemisi Parker say, thank you for being on here. Big sis, always a pleasure. Hi, Faye. Guys, it's Ghana's independence today. For those of you that weren't on the other page. I'm super thirsty today. Okay, so, Ajua Prempe. I'm early today, looking forward to this session. Hope you're well. I am well, thank you, and lovely to have you on here. Jeff Nelson, thank you for being on here. Guys, if you have joined, I would really appreciate you guys sharing this broadcast. Lovely to have you on here this Sunday. It is the 6th of March, 2022, the 65th anniversary of Ghana's independence. And what have we done with it? Well, that is the $64 million question, isn't it? But thankfully today, we're not going to be talking about Ghana's woes or whatevers or wonders. We are going to be talking about marriage and whether physical attraction is necessary for a marriage to survive. However, before we get into that juicy conversation, how are you guys doing this evening? Let me see some hearts if you're feeling great. If you're not feeling great, if you're not feeling good, then by all means, give me a huggy thingy emoji. Okay, so lots of you are feeling good, or well, actually, there's not that many hearts considering how many people are watching at the minute. Okay, so generally you guys are feeling good. Hi, Julia Roberts, thanks for being on here. Thank you. And Ernest, thank you for being on here as well. Claudette, where have you been, Claudette? I've been looking out for you, me and you are gonna fight. Lovely to have you on here, Claudette. God bless you. And how's your sister? Hope she's well. My love to everyone. Hi, Faith. Haven't seen you here for a while as well. So it's nice to have you guys on here today. It will be a very interesting conversation as always. Ulysses, thank you for being on here as well. Right. How am I today? Today I am very tired, but I am very happy to be here. So that's definitely is the main thing, isn't it, really? So I don't have any hearts to, put on here because they don't allow me that privilege. But my heart is with you guys. So Gertrude, thank you for being on here. Claudia says, I know, sorry, we're both well. Thank God, that's good. You're looking good, madam. Thank you, Ernest. I'm trying. Gwen, how you doing, girl? I haven't seen you for a while. Irie blessings, everyone. Irie, my sister. Yes, Faith, I know, right? Guys, so let's get cracking. So, who am I? My name is Dilys. I am a qualified and accredited life coach. I specialize in relationships, marriage, surprise, surprise, grief coaching, and Christian coaching as well. I'm a minister at New Glory Ministry. I am an event host. I'm a public speaker. And I am a best-selling author of the book, Not This Widow. I'm also a general pain in the butt. But then, some pains are good pains, Abby. Anyway, so the other thing that I would like to say, and I will be sharing this throughout towards the end of the program. The tickets for the live Speak with Dilys show are now available on Eventbrite. Now, there was a slight technical issue, hence why I don't have the link on here. However, if you go onto Eventbrite, www.eventbrite.com or .co.uk, and you type in Speak with Dilys, the event will come up. Now, if you can't purchase your ticket straight away, there is a facility for you to contact the organizer, which is yours truly, and an email will come through to me. Now, why this is important is there are 2 complimentary tickets that are available. So whoever goes there first and wants those standard complimentary tickets, y'all gonna get it. So that's why I thought, I would let you know that the tickets are now live. So Hawa Bundu, thank you for being on here, and Lynette Douglas as well. Lucas Monrose, thank you. It's lovely to have you on here, and Hetty Adami. So guys, let's get cracking. So that's who I am. That's what I do. So just for those of you that will catch this on the replay, or, names that I don't recognize and you join, that's who I am. And I will be having a live show, or the launch of Speak with Dilys, at the Leonardo Royal Hotel in St. Paul's on the 22nd of April, which is a Friday, from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. The VIP ticket holders will come in at 6:30 for a private party for an hour with bubbly, canapes, premium seating, all the good stuff with yours truly, and a private party. And then the standard gold ticket holders will come in from 7:30 to 9:30 and enjoy an evening that kind of takes this to like 10 notches up. So it's going to be a wonderful night. If any of you have been to any of my events, whether it was a Fitchits Club in Brighton, whether it was the book launch at the same hotel, or at the Sky Bar in Holborn, or any events that I've done, whether it was the Who Will Hear My Cry charity ball at Placer's Hall, or anywhere, you know that I give you quality. Yeah, I'm not one of those people that will sell tickets and you're thinking, what the hell am I doing here? You'll come back. Okay, I think my book launch, I think the first one, there was about 170 people there. The second one was about 160, and that was because it was winter. So yeah, I'm gonna give you value for money, and it would be a great night. And it would be good for some of us to even meet in person. Those of us that are in London, please do make an attempt to come. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want to take Speak with Dilys to the next level, where we can be doing these events every quarter, but also for it to be on your TV channels and, other places. And I have been in talks with people that want to do that. The other thing that I'll mention very quickly before we start is there are sponsorship opportunities, and those that have stuff that they would like to, if you want a table on the evening, like you've got a business or something and you want to have your roller banner and that kind of stuff, do get in touch with me, either via Facebook or via Eventbrite. So that's the announcements done. So guys, are you still with me? Give me some hearts, and I know that you're still with me and you haven't just checked out. And I want to see you guys. If I don't see you on the night, man, I will not be happy. So guys, okay, great. So you're still with me. Let's get cracking. So for those that didn't see the information on what we are speaking about tonight, let me just read it out to you very quickly. And thank you guys for the hearts and for the support. You've been great. And if you hadn't been so consistent, I wouldn't be looking to launch this. So I'm really appreciative of that. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, part 2, ring my bell. We've established that marriage can be hard work, and we often focus on the emotional side of what makes a marriage tick. But what about the physical element? What attracted you to your spouse, and is it still important that you are physically attracted to each other? Can a marriage still work and be fulfilling if there's no physical attraction? Men are said to be visual beings and women more emotional. But does that give either side the right to ignore the other because of differing needs? Marriage may be said to be one big compromise, but does that include compromising on your desires based on gender? Impose celibacy in marriage? ? Welcome to the 5th episode of Speak with Dilys, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Number 2, ring my bell. The night is young and full of possibilities. So come on and let yourself be free. You know that song. But I shan't sing too much because that's not why you're here tonight. I just thought I'd give you just a little bit of something, just to lighten the mood. But this is what we're going to be talking about. And I know a lot of you have been very excited about this topic. And somebody did send me an inbox message. And I read it, but I wasn't able to respond because it did actually fit into some of what I'm going to be speaking about tonight. So before I carry on, let me just see who else is here. Lynette says good evening. Oh, hello, Kabuna Baki. How are you doing? Monica Martini, lovely to see you on here. Helen Opoku, lovely to have you on here as well. Live correction. You're not a pain in the butt. You disrupt the pattern. Thank you very much. Shireen, lovely to have you on here. Kiri, my sister, how are you doing? Share to my group. Live the life you love. Good evening, my sister. Good evening, and I appreciate you sharing. Hi, Oliver, you found us. That's great. Gloria Ajwa, thank you for being on here. Angelina, thank you for being on here. Beautiful necklace. Thank you so much. It's by Encapo. She's called Makisa Prepri. You can find her on Facebook or inbox me, and I'll give you her details. Julia says she'll be there. Wonderful. Marinya Ado, thank you for being on here. Ekia Sarkodia. Tina Menz, Faith, thank you for being here. Good evening. Monica says, I celebrated my Pearl anniversary, 30 years. Wonderful. 15th February this year. God bless you. Congratulations. No mean feats. I'm sure you will have some good nuggets for us on how to keep a marriage alive and well after 30 years. So that's wonderful. Haja, thank you for being on here. And Princess, thank you for being on here as well. And Nyan Tichua. I don't recognize that name. So if you're new, welcome. Please do share. Let's get cracking and have this very important and interesting conversation. My chair does not feel comfortable today at all. Don't know what's going on. Okay, so let me just do a little bit of a history lesson here. So last week, we spoke about relationships. Hi, Billy. Thank you for being on here. Now, what I explained for last week's show, which was the Mr. and Mrs. Smith part 1. I didn't intend on doing a part 2, but it just kind of naturally progressed into where we are today and what we're going to be speaking about. And what I said last week was that relationships will always be an area that we keep coming back to because our very existence is steeped in relationships of various kinds. It's a shame that an area of relationships such as marriage that should bring us joy can be a source of immense pain. Why then do some couples choose to remain in loveless marriages with no intention of reconciling and making it work, but choose for whatever reason to remain together? So that was the discussion last week. Jay Abiga, how you doing, girlfriend? Lovely to have you on here. So that's the discussion we were having last week, and we explored, many different, reasons as to why people remain in loveless marriages. Anything from being afraid of getting divorced to what society, religion, and all sorts of other, reasons for not wanting to put an end to that marriage, even though you're living under the same roof. And then we also spoke about the fact that children who are witness to these kind of marriages, the effect it has on them long term, and the manner in which it shapes their perception of what marriage and relationship looks like, and how it can affect them committing, into relationships, whether it's marriage or not. Having commitment issues is what I'm trying to say. We also looked at the fact that it has very adverse health implications when you are in a marriage like that is toxic and you're living under the same roof. So there was a lot that we looked at last week. This week, what we are talking about is whether physical attraction is necessary for a marriage to work. And so that's what we're going to be looking at. Adele, lovely to have you on here. Anita, lovely to have you on here as well. And Senna, Tamakla, Big Sis, how are you? And Sharon, lovely to have you guys on here. If you're here, please do share. And once you've shared it, do put something in the comments box so I can at the very least, thank you. Hi, Adele. Okay, guys, so let's get cracking. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're all on the same page, so we can have a really good conversation. So, where do we even start with this? When I was researching this, I was kind of saying to myself, okay, so what is it that attracted you physically to your mate or not? And then I kind of answered my own question by saying, not all people get married because they're necessarily, or not all people get married to a person that they're necessarily physically attracted to. And I find that this is often the case of people who are from more of a religious background. And I'm not talking of arranged marriages. I'm talking about people in church who will marry people that they will tell themselves there is a spiritual connection to, as opposed to a physical connection, or people who are marrying because it's time to marry. Or there are men, and I think this is more so of African men, who will marry a woman they would date certain women, but they will marry a woman whom they feel will be a good wife. And often I've heard men say that you don't marry a beautiful woman. I find that bizarre. I find it ludicrous. Because when you look at the issue of attraction, in that respect, for you to remain faithful, unless your intention when getting married was not to be faithful, it will be difficult. Now, if you look at people who get married and go more down the spiritual route, what I have found is that these men end up ogling women that they're not necessarily attracted to. So, for example, you'll hear people say, oh, when you come to church, when you're wearing certain things, you're tempting the men. Apart from the fact that I think that it's a cop-out, that if a man cannot control his urges when you're in a controlled environment in the presence of God, then actually you need a double dose of Jesus. You need a slap of the Holy Ghost. So I've never quite understood that. Because if you are married and you are in the church, because I don't think they were necessarily talking about single men, then you should be married to a woman that does it for you physically. Because I can assure you, there's no man that I would be with in church that would be, his head would turn for any other woman, because he would be with a woman that he's attracted to, and vice versa. So my point is, I've always said, why would you marry somebody where there is no physical attraction? Because when you spiritualize marriage to that degree, let me tell you something, I'm gonna just keep it real, because here I said I don't do political correctness. I just do the truth, yeah? This is the thing. After you have finished praying and speaking in tongues and fasting, when you lie down in bed with that woman or that man, no be spiritual, nah flesh, yeah? You are lying next to what we call in Ghana human being. Yes, human spelled Human, being, Been. You are lying next to human being. You're not lying next to a spirit. So you best make sure that the person that you are married to, that you are physically attracted to. Because what I found, even in church, not my current church, we don't do that there, but I've been in places where the men are ogling me, and I'm looking at their wives and I'm thinking, she no get nyash. You don't look my nyash. She no get bobby. You look my breast. Why? Why did you not marry Umwe get nyash? If you know say nyash she won't. Don't lie to yourself and don't over spiritualize things, because marriage is a long road. So unless you are planning on being unfaithful to the person that you are with, I don't know why people are laughing, you know me, I will talk the truth. I will tell the truth. If it's Nash, you won't. Go for Nash. If not Bobby, you like, go for Bobby. Don't say, she's just a wonderful woman of God. The way she prays, the way she fasts. I've never seen a woman of a kind. The Proverbs 35 woman. Listen, Omo, speak the truth and let the devil be ashamed. If Nash you like, follow Nash. Be honest. Because marriage is a long road. A very, very, very long road. So find the woman or the man that you like. If you know a guy where be bole, as we say in Ghana, you like a guy who's got muscles, yeah? Guy that is, don't go for one man who is 4 foot nothing and is as puny as one of those little things in the African broomstick that when the wind blows, that he's gone with the wind. No. Because at the end of the day, you know what you like. And then you're there salivating over your friend's husband who is 6'2" and he's built like a tank. Stop that. Be honest. Be honest. Because if you have lied to yourself before you entered that marriage, how can you have a healthy marriage? You can't. I won't lie to myself and say, I'm happy to marry a man who's 5 foot. You say lie for what? So that when you're following me, they'll think you're one of my children. No. I like a guy who is, as they say in Ghana, tall. Look at the size of me. I'm not a small woman. I'm solid, So that's what I like. So I'm not, hello Zoe. My girl is here, my twins here. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. See, right now, I've really got to come with the goods now that Zoe's in the house. But yeah, you've got to then be honest that, I like women who are a particular way. Let me tell you a funny story. I don't know if I've told you the story before. Anyway, so years and years and years ago, I was in this church. I wasn't actually in the church. I used to just go there for prayer meetings. And I had a friend in Ghana that I used to pray with. He was a prophet pastor. And he said to me, he calls me Ohima. Ohima in Chi means queen. And he said, Ohima, there is a man who's been praying about you. And I'll tell you why I'm sharing this story. And he said, this man, when he's praying to God, he said, down to the shape of my legs, I am the kind of woman he wants. So I was like, whoa, because I'd never heard anything like that before then. Lo and behold, I think that week when I went to all-night prayer meeting, the pastor called me and said, oh, there's a gentleman that would like me to introduce you to him because he believes that you're his wife. I said, hey, I said, no, it's not me. Because me, that whole, you're my wife, you're my husband thing, I'm like, hell no, if God hasn't spoken to me, don't go there. But my point is, and he wasn't my type, so I knew that weren't going to work. And I think at the time he was quite a lot older than me. I was young, I was like 27. But my point is, that was a man that knew what he wanted. He saw me and thought, I like that woman, down to her legs, that's the woman that I like. He didn't over-spiritualize it, and he didn't lie to himself. The package that he desired was me. I just didn't like him. But the point is, go for what you know you like. Marriage is a long road. Don't pretend that you are content with a woman who is a size 24, when really and truly, you like a woman that is size 16. And then you badger your wife to lose weight, No, she doesn't have to lose weight, because what you found is what you married is what you found. Deal with it. So for me, one of the main questions is, what attracted you in the first place? If you can't think of what that is or what that was, then there is a bit of a problem. Then it's difficult to ignite or reignite something that was never really there in the first place. The other thing that I think is worth looking at as well is background and culture. You see, when we talk about physical attraction, it's a lot more than just physical. Because how the person carries themselves is part of that physical attraction. How they carry themselves, their self-confidence, how comfortable they are in their skin and expressing the way they feel is all part of that physical attraction. Now, the issue that we have when it comes to culture and what have you, especially from ethnic communities and religious communities, is you are not supposed to act like physical attraction is of any relevance. So you're supposed to pretend not to like sex, especially as a woman. You're supposed to not to want to be sexy, but be all those things for your spouse. Now, I'm going to have to really unpick this, and I did say this is going to be in 3 parts, because in order for us to operate in that space of being comfortable in our skin, appreciating our womanhood, or, our masculinity in the marital sense, there is a level of self-acceptance that has to come with that. You don't just wake up one morning and by virtue of the fact that you are now married, that you are able to maintain that physical attraction, or you are able to be comfortable in your skin and feel sexy and feel, wanted and be expressive and to be intimate. And I'm going to go on to the intimacy thing, because when I was reading this stuff, when I was writing my notes, I thought we need to do intimacy as a separate thing. Because intimacy falls under a few categories: intellectual intimacy, emotional intimacy, physical intimacy, spiritual intimacy. And none of these things can I discuss plus this in 35 minutes. So it's important that we are able to unpick these things, to understand why these things are important, and how we are able to show up in our marriages to satisfy our spouse. Because once we get to a place where it's not important, that's fine, but there must be agreement between the parties. You see, all this stuff I'm talking about living under the same roof, intimacy, the attraction, it has to be agreement between the two parties. What works for the two parties? Because somebody inboxed me earlier on, but I was on my way to church, and it was quite a long message, and I read it just before I had my nap. And this person was saying that they have remained married for many, many, many years, but they are not sexually active with their husband, nor the husband with her. But they are very loving and still intimate. But then the way in which she used the word intimate, I thought, you haven't used the word intimacy properly, because sex does not necessarily denote intimacy. Sex can just be sex. When a man has sex with a prostitute, you don't call that intimacy, you just call it sex. If I am talking to you every day, sharing my heart and my emotions and what have you, I'm intimate, even though sex may not have taken place. And this is where you have to marry the intimacy of friendship and marry it to the intimacy of physical contact and attraction. Faces, a lot of couples are living like that though. A lot of couples are living like the couples I described last week, where they don't, because what this lady described to me was a loving relationship just in the absence of sex. Now, in her case, the reason why it was so, there were reasons. And that's why I was saying that when we pick apart you showing up as being sexy, confident, what have you in your marriage, it's not just about feeling those things. There are other contributory factors that can affect how you feel about showing up in your marriage in that way. Guys, if you're watching this, please share and just put in the comment box so that I can acknowledge the fact that, you shared this, and it'd be really helpful for me. Victoria, thank you for joining. Mona, thank you for being here as well. Jamal, thank you, my dear, for being here. And Phyllis as well. Hello, Cuz, how you doing? And Kate as well. And Nana, Yao, and Tim, thank you for being on here, guys. Lovely to have you on here. And Miss Admin, lovely, lovely, jubbly. Mavis Ajakum, your presence is very much appreciated. And Miss Dimples, aka Benita Bradley from the States, lovely to have you on here. And Regina Andam as well. So guys, I've acknowledged as many of you as I can. Thank you so much. Please do share this if you're able to. So it's not just a question of just you wake up one day, you're married and all that physical attraction. You see, this is why I often say, when you are getting married, be honest about the reasons as to why you're getting married. And I mentioned this last week. Be honest. And also be honest with the person to whom you are getting married. Because marriage can be the best thing that ever happens to you, or the very worst. And even when it's the best thing, it requires work. A marriage that is not built on transparency and honesty, it is like you having to play a role for the rest of your life, or for as long as you remain in that marriage. It's a hard place to be. Because I had somebody who came to me and said, look, I hate having sex with my husband. Why? Because I was raped as a child. Now, in fact, I have a few women like that. But you have to be honest. Because when you are in that situation, and sometimes you men, you've spoken to me, sometimes it's not just about the women. Some of you men have had issues with sexual abuse that has affected your ability to commit, as well as your ability to perform in the bedroom. And I say this because if we are not going to be honest about these things, sometimes when our spouse is acting uninterested in sex, we immediately either feel that they're being unfaithful, or we don't take the time to show that compassion to find out what's wrong. So the response isn't, oh, but you're always tired, you always have a headache, and you make it a bone of contention. And you make it about aggression and demand and showing how unfulfilled you are, when there may be other reasons for it. One thing I will say to you men is that when you want to have sex with your wives in the evening, start making love to her from the morning. And I don't mean physically. I repeat, when you want to have sex with your wife in the evening, start making love to your wife from the morning. That is how you speak to her, whether you have checked on her during the day, how you greet her when you come home. Those are the things that keep physical attraction alive. Those are the things that keep intimacy in check. When you don't check on your wife during the day, in the morning it's and then you run off, and you only show tenderness and that loving feeling just because you want to get a leg over, it ain't going to really happen. Because what you will have is you'll relieve yourself, in which case you could masturbate. But if you really want to be making love to your wife and having that intimacy with her, start from the morning. How you speak to her, how you relate to her, the atmosphere in the home. I used to tell my late husband that you are the emotional thermostat for the house. If you are not happy and you are in a bad mood, it affects the temperature in the home. Men, do not underestimate the power that you have. Ladies, Be honest as much as you are able to speak to your husbands about some of the experiences that you have had. Things that you don't enjoy intimately with your husband, be honest and say. Sex is something that can make or break a marriage. Men, this nonsense that you do, that you wait till your wife is sleeping before you now be doing darling, darling, stop that nonsense. That ain't sexy and it's not considerate, it's selfish. By the time she's fallen asleep, let her sleep. Because one thing I'll tell you about us women, we don't get to switch off like you men. You can come from work and that's it, bam. Work is done and you're home and that's it. Whereas we're still thinking about all sorts of different things. So by the time we've had the luxury of being able to fall asleep, don't wake my ass up. Don't do it. Do not do that. Just show some consideration. And why is your wife so tired? How is she managing the home? How is she managing at work? Is there anything troubling her? Those are the things. And understand that intimacy is not just about sex. It is also about conversation. It's about concern. It's about consideration. It's about understanding what that person's love language is. I've gone completely off my notes, but praise the Lord. Let me tell you something. You need to love your spouse how they want to be loved, not how you want to love them. I repeat, you need to love your spouse how they want to be loved, not how you want to love them. Why do I say this? Because when you love somebody how they want to be loved, that's when they feel love. A lot of times when marriages break down and people say, oh, we have irreconcilable differences and both parties still love each other, the reason why the marriage has broken down is because you're not loving each other in the language that either party understands. Let me give you an example. My love language is words of affirmation. I am very particular about words. So if you are speaking to a woman like me and we are having an argument and you become personal, oh, you are like this, you are like that, you will crush me. And by that, I mean, I will recoil. For me to be able to come out of that space, I'm just hearing what you said. So when you are coming to apologize, because my love language in apology is about acknowledgement and not just about the word, I need for you to say, I'm sorry I said this thing. I said it because, and I won't do it again by doing this. That's me. Don't go and buy me a gift. That's not my love language. Don't go and buy me a bracelet, or that's not my love language. I don't care about material things in that way. But the things you say to me are very important. Now, if you are married to such a person, when you are having a disagreement, you need to watch what comes out of your mouth. Because how your spouse is going to receive that is maybe very differently from how you intended it. And this is what I'm saying, that you need to love the person that you're married to in the manner in which they want to be loved. So for example, ladies, if you're married to a man whose love language is physical contact, then sorry for you. You have to be doing that thing. But understand that. And then it becomes about compromise and understanding what is comfortable for two of you. Because the moment one person feels unfulfilled, your marriage has broken down. If one person has a problem, then you both have a problem. So even though we're speaking about physical attraction in a marriage, there are different elements that gets you to be physically attracted. I can't be physically attracted to a man that insults me. Forget the fact that you have all the muscles and you're 6 foot whatever and you're fine. But if you insult me, you become repulsive to me. You do not become attractive to me. So when we speak about this physical attraction thing, understand that there are different things that contribute to physical attraction. And like I said, I have so gone off my notes. So let's see what you guys are saying. Let me see if I've got your comments in check. Let's see. You're all saying communication. That's very true. Okay, let me see how far back I've got to go. You guys do make me work. Faith says a lot of couples are living. Okay, yes, we got that. And then Nanayao says, we are so proud of you for the good work you're doing, dear. So thank you so much. This is just my ministry. I'm just a servant. Mabinti, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. Lonel, Neo, I don't recognize some of these names. If you're here for the first time, thank you very much for watching. Please do share, and it's great that you guys are on here. Faye says, love is based on understanding. Yes, Echo. Andy, thank you for being on here as well. Mimi Mensa. And this is good advice to this. The preamble to lovemaking is very important. Listen, you men, I'm giving you guys a good hint here. If you want good sex from your wives, when you come home, you say, oh, my wife is always, she's not always tired. She's bored of you. She's bored. You don't turn her on anymore. You are boring. And you see, because we don't want to crush your egos, we don't want to tell you the truth. So we will tell you that we have a headache. Now, lie, we don't have any headache. You, the man, you are the headache. You are the headache that's come to the house. But, and I know I do mix this with a lot of, just joking about and stuff. But, it's true though. You're laughing because y'all know it's true. We are bored. You're boring and we are bored. But when you call us, darling, how are you doing? How's your day going? Is there anything you'd like me to pick up on my way home for you? Are you and the kids okay? She can't wait for you to come home. What are you saying? She cannot wait for you to come home. But when you come in with this, your attitude, you've had a hard day at work, you throw your briefcase and you give an attitude and all this rubbish. And then at night, you want us to open shop for you and for you to go shopping. We will give you no frills goods. We will not give you the finest. We will give you no frills. That one, sharp. Oh yeah, let's turn around and sleep. But if you want the quality that we know we can give and we can put it down, start making love to us from the morning. Ladies, if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. Please comment. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. But you see what sometimes you men don't seem to understand is that to get us to give you good sex means you need to be affectionate towards us. And don't get me wrong, sometimes we just want sex as well. But a lot of the time, we just want to feel loved. Sometimes we just want a hug. We don't want sex. But some of you men, you can't control yourself. You hug your wife and then things start rising. Relax. But it's natural. We get it. Ladies, let me tell you something. If you want good sex from your husband, respect him. Your mouth. Don't be talking to your husband anyhow. Don't reduce your husband to nothing and expect him to be a man. He relies on you to make him a man. Why? Because the power of a woman behind a man is exactly that. It is power. You can make or break your spouse. Don't listen, I'm very balanced. Don't think that is all about, men do this. No. Because again, people see me and think, I'm very strong and therefore I would have, obviously for those of you that don't know, I'm widowed. So thinking, this one would have ridden her husband like a horse. No, I know my place as a woman and I enjoy it. It's a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful place to be. And it's about balance. And women, if you want that home where you are able to express yourself and be happy and raise children in a good environment, do your part. And a lot of it is about our attitude and how we also show up when we have a problem. The one thing I will say that just dropped in my spirit, this silent treatment nonsense that we do in our homes, cut it out. Not only is it immature, but it's I find it demonic. I think it's very demonic and it's very controlling. And I find people that like to control, as far as I'm concerned, that's just a different form of witchcraft. Don't try to control people with your silence. If there is a problem, sit down like an adult. I'm a writer. So when I have an issue, for me, I will write. And yes, sometimes can be misconstrued, but you know what? At least it's a good point of conversation. Write something down. Don't always express your upset through your silence. Silence is difficult to interpret. And you see, I'm saying all these things because if you don't get rid of all this stuff, how are you able to come together and be intimate and keep the relationship alive? Physical attraction is not just about you've got muscles, you've got a big bum, you've got big tits, and yeah, we're physically attracted. It's more than that. Especially if you want to keep it, alive. Why is this thing going on to Netflix? Do I look like I want to watch Netflix now? Hey, Omolai, I don't know what's happened though. Okay. Yeah, that's sorted out. So yes, so I've spoken a lot about, our sex life and how we are able to keep that going, the physical attraction going. Do you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm making this thing too complicated. keep it alive by, someone's actually increase the volume. Hold on. Is that better? You keep your marriage and the physical attraction alive by being a friend to your spouse. Common basic respect would take you both very far. Just common basic respect. How you talk to your husband, how you talk to your wife, how you come together in agreement when it comes to your children, how you do even with in-laws. These are basic things that have such a profound effect on the bedroom. Profound. Let me tell you something, men. When you don't protect your wife from your family, and it is your responsibility, when we don't feel protected, what you're saying is, I can leave you open for anybody to take a piece of you. So when you want us to give you a piece of ourselves, we don't trust you. We don't trust you. And you see, the best sex you will ever have with your wife is a wife who not only respects you, but trusts you. She knows that her life is safe in your hands. How she will relate to you sexually is on a different level. Different level. But you don't want to hear it because sometimes we find it difficult to be able to articulate that to you. But how protected you make us feel is how we are able to open up and say, yes, this is my husband. So attraction, physical attraction is not just about the physical, is basically what I'm saying. There's so much, that goes on behind the scenes to get you to that place where you look at that man and you think, I want some of that. Or that man looks at him and thinks that, yeah, that's my wife. Because let me tell you something. This nonsense that women don't enjoy sex is a lie from the pit of hell. Lie. Women enjoy sex. And when a woman doesn't enjoy sex, what I did say earlier on is find out the reason why. Sometimes it's culture. Sometimes that woman, and I'll just make this general, either the man or the woman, hasn't come from a home where people were openly affectionate or very tactile. So to have that expectation that they can do that in the home may be difficult. But again, if you're speaking to your wife or your husband is that way inclined, then you can speak about that and see how best you can get to a place where you're both comfortable. Baby steps. I come from a home where my parents were always very tactile. My dad would come home from work and he would kiss my mum on the lips. That's normal for me. Every single day. Monday to Friday, there was not one day my father came home from work that I didn't see him kiss my mum on the lips. Number two, the other thing I never saw was my father sleep in a separate room to my mother because of an argument. The other thing I never saw was my parents having a damn argument. I'm 50 years old, and the only thing that I can recall is one time my mum and dad being in my room where my mum was really annoyed with my dad because he had a friend that would come to the house every so often drunk. And my mum was like, this is not good for the kids to see this man drunk. That was the only time. And even then, they went to the room. I just happened to be in the bedroom. It wasn't like they were having a go at each other in front of us kids. Now, when you insult your wife in front of your children, do you really think that she's going to feel like sleeping with you? Or Mrs., when you berate your husband in front of your kids, do you really think that he wants to have sex? No. If we do have sex, we're just having sex. We're not making love to you. And we're really counting sheep and thinking, let this thing be over quick so I can roll over and sleep. And these are the things that affect marriages. This is how we end up, being like the couples that I spoke about last week, where you hate each other and you're living under the same roof, continuing to hate each other, and yet you're not getting divorced. Okay, let me read some comments. Brenda Sherlock, thank you for being here. I'm not going to wear white, because against the writing, I can't see anything. So I'm going to be dressed all in black like a ninja next week. Anita Agri says, thank you. Communication is key. Amen. What is your spouse's love language? Yeah, go find out. Actually, from here, those of you, that are in relationships, married, go and find out what is your spouse's love language. Go and read about it and see, how best you can communicate, because there's no point us having these conversations and nothing changes. Go and do your research. Or better still, start watching this with your husband and your wife so that what you can't tell them, like for example, that your husband is boring in bed. Don't worry, I'll say it for you. Inbox me. Ladies, inbox me. I'll say the thing for you. Don't worry, I don't charge. Guys, If your wife, she doesn't do it for you, you inbox me, yeah? No big problem. Okay, so Nana Yamin Tim says, you're fabulous, Dilys. Right on point. Thank you so much. You're fabulous too. Eliza Adu, thank you for being on here. Efia Oseakoto, how you doing? Says, how you doing? She says, thank you very much. Faces Word. Kezia Helen, thank you. I don't recognize your name, so welcome to this show if you're here for the first time. Zoe, who is my twin, says, understanding each other's love language is key. Absolutely. Berna Sako, dear, thank you for being on here as well. You guys are just giving me 111 comments. Come on, talk now. Hetiadami says, you put the nail right on in the coffin. It's terrible words thrown at me that killed my relationship. You see, I rest my case. Words are very powerful. You know, as women, for example, because we tend to be, and I use this loosely, we tend to be more expressive with our words. Really building up your man and telling him how wonderful he is, how much you appreciate him. It does a lot for a man. Our men are more fragile than they will allow us to believe because of our culture, because of the society in which we live. They have to give off, you know, most men have to give off this air that, yeah, they're men and they're strong, what have you. But let me tell you something, when your man can actually shed tears in front of you, then you know that he must really trust you. And, you know, I think that it's important that we allow our men to see us as their safe haven. Never to be one where they think, oh, my wife, out of the way, her mouth is me, I can't confide in her. No. We should be the safe haven for our husbands. Husbands, be the safe haven for your wife. When the world out there, which is a brutal world, when it deals with us out there and we come home, the home has got to be that sanctuary. And what seals it is that level of sexual intimacy that we can have. Now, as I mentioned earlier on in the program, that somebody mentioned the fact that they don't have sex with their husband, yet they are very close and very loving. The key word here is agreement. What the two parties have agreed. Let me tell you something. If you're with your spouse, and between husband and wife, you've agreed to only have sex on only the days of the week that starts with, I don't know, the letter T, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Who am I to say, no, that's wrong? You've both agreed it. Both agreed it. For the two shall become one. You've both agreed it. If one party says, well, I want to have sex on every day of the week that ends with a Y, then y'all got a problem. Because that's every day. So where is the compromise? So it's really about communication and compromise and understanding what you agree to do with each other. That's what makes it what it needs to be. The problem arises when we have different expectations that we don't communicate out of fear or out of rejection or out of feeling we'll be ridiculed. So again, it comes back to this fundamental thing of being married to your friend and having love and respect for them. Because really, there is nothing that your husband should not be able to tell you and vice versa. Hetty says, okay, so sorry, I read Hetty's one. Efia says, I like the off the notes disting. Well, and I have so many notes there. Thank God it's going to be in 3 parts. And who knows, maybe the live show, we might speak about this because there's going to be 2 topics that we're going to discuss the live show. It's like for 2 hours. So we're going to have enough time, you know, to be able to do that. So make sure you buy your tickets for the live launch of Speak with Dilys on Friday, the 22nd of April at the Royal Leonardo Hotel in St. Paul's. Very plush and very posh. Okie dokie. So what else are we saying on here? Caddy says, wow. Ablajifa Gomashi, thank you so much for being here. He says, lovely, lovely, lovely. Don Cisco, where have you been? I was thinking about you the other day. You best ring me. Okay, so I'm not going to oust him here. It's Francisco. How you doing? Faye says, men think they're the only ones who get bored. No, listen, guys, listen, sometimes your sex is whack. Yeah, you're not the only ones that get bored. Your wives get bored as well. And sometimes when they're pretending to have a headache is because that's what your sex gives them, a headache. It's boring. So again, be honest, speak to your spouse. I know I'm just being brutally honest here because I can be. And I'm just saying what the wives can't tell their husbands and what the husbands can't tell their wives. I would just keep it real. Caddy said, please share. Yes, thank you. Guys, if you're watching this, please do share. Carbu says, oh yeah. Gertrude says, true, say, Faye says, the meaning, the moanings and groanings. Of course, sex is important. Physical attraction is important. Zoe says, I speak the truth. Evelyn says, you're spot on, Dilys. Ifya says, stop. Shop closed with burglar proof locks. Oh dear. Kira Caddy says, truth all the way. Sierra Leone and Pearl, how you doing, love? Lovely to have you on here. And Ezra as well. All of you who are new to this show, my name is Dilys Silla. I am a qualified and accredited life coach specializing in marriage, relationship, grief, and Christian coaching as well. I'm a minister at New Glory Ministry. I am an event host and I'm a public speaker as well. In fact, one of the things I did not mention is I am one of the speakers for an event that's been put together by the Rotary Club. If you follow this page, guys, please do follow the page and switch on your notification bells. On Thursday, the 10th of March, I am one of the speakers who will be speaking for International Women's Day, or week. So that would be great if you could join me on there. So yes, these are some of the things I do. I'm an event host as well. So if you are having an event and you want somebody that is interesting like me, then obviously you need to book me in it. Get me? So yeah, that's what you need to do. So that's what I do in case you don't know me. And I am, of course, the host of Speak with Dilys, who will be launching this show live in London on the 22nd of April. Tickets are now live on Eventbrite. There are 2 complimentary tickets that can be purchased. Well, not purchased because they're complimentary, but get on there and snap them up quickly. And every so often I will be giving away some free tickets. Sponsorship is required for this event. So if you would like to sponsor, please do get in touch and let me know. Margaret, thank you for being on here. You guys are just enjoying this so much that you're not even commenting as much as you normally do. Caddy says, may God Almighty give you your desire for others. God bless you. Thank you so much. Faith says, I hate it with a passion, that silent treatment. It's not good. And it does kill not just your sexual desire for your spouse, but it just kills emotions all around. It is not a good thing. Nana says, I hear it weakens their testosterone when we get them down. Yeah, it does. Stephen, thank you for being on here. Don't recognize your name, so welcome. I'm sure you've been here for the first time. I appreciate you watching. Michelle Simmons and you too. Beatrice, thank you for being on here. Sister Abla says, increase the volume. Okay, I have done. I hope it's better now. Anita says, thank you. If the communication is good, if the communication isn't good, ain't no loving going on. Absolutely. Demami Alafia, thank you for being on here as well. Sherelle says it's also mental. Being in sync with your partner is so important. Absolutely. Zoe says respect is key. Yemisi Parko says that the silent treatment is guaranteed to push me away from you permanently. It is important to understand your partner's love language. Show empathy to each other. Be supportive. That's why I'm saying that men, this is rubbish, eh? Only men do this, you know, that when the wife is sleeping. I even watched a video on YouTube today where the woman was fast asleep. And this is really twisted. The woman was fast asleep and the husband was doing all sorts of stupidness to wake her up so that he could have sex with her. And she was like, look, I'm really tired. I've got to be up early in the morning. I'm exhausted, blah, blah, blah. And it was really funny because she ended up getting up to go to work whilst his lazy ass was in bed. She goes to work and the maid comes into the room. Big batty maid, house help. And the next thing, he's on this maid and the wife catches him. And at the end, this is when I say some of these men, some of them are sick. And I know it was only a man that wrote that nonsense. At the end of that video, it was written, what did it say? Do not deny your husband to prevent such a thing happening in your house. You know, because I don't want my Facebook account to be restricted, I had to hold it down, you know. But where I wanted to start from, not only would they have banned me, they would have had to do another Facebook, a brand new one for me to join. Hey, Jesus is Lord. Listen, you see those kind of men, you can see what kind of marriages or relationships they have or will have. Because when you see sex as being your right, to the point where if you don't get it, you are justified to go and sexually harass your maid, your house help, or to go and have affairs, then you don't deserve to be married. Why are you guys laughing? Because I said, well, I wanted to start from. Hey, listen, don't get me twisted, you know, I'm very nice, but when I'm ready, I will tear strips of you. And you see, that's the mindset we have. So if we are approaching our wives with, if you don't give me sex, I'll go outside and go and get it. And some of you men, that's what you tell your wives. Hey, if you don't give it, that's your business. The same way you're going to get it outside, your wife too can get it outside from somebody who understands her needs. But that's not the objective of your marriage. It's so that there will be understanding, such that you can keep what is intimate. Gentlemen, because you seem to be fond of this nonsense a little bit more than us ladies. I'm not saying we don't do it too. I said a little bit more fond. I choose my words very carefully. You seem to think that by spreading, but let me cut to the chase. Don't be a community penis. Keep your penis at home. Because when you are having extramarital affairs, you are one man, one person. There is only so much of yourself that you can give. You can't be intimate with 2 women or 3 or 4. Whatever it is that you feel that you are losing or you've lost with your wife, try and find it. Let me tell you something. Sex is spiritual. Sex connects your spirit and your soul to the person with whom you are having sex. That is why they say the 2 shall become one flesh. They're talking about the joining of spirit. So when you are there, doing rent a penis, anybody that wants penis, you did there. You're joining your spirit to different people, and different people have different spirits. Not every woman has a good spirit. Not every man has a good spirit. But unfortunately, when you take yourself out there, you are carrying your wife with you to join that other person's spirit. Listen, when you have sex, it's the joining of souls. That is what brings you together. That's what ties you. So when you feel that just going out there having sex is just a physical thing, look, I said last week, it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't make what you disbelieve untrue. And that's why I said, if you don't believe in the law of gravity, go up to a high rise and jump and see what will happen. You just say, I don't believe, splat. That's what will happen. Because that law of gravity is not dependent on your belief. Likewise, I am telling you, sex is spiritual. When you have sex with somebody, your soul and your spirit is joined to that person. And that is why, even in the secular world, even when you take your vows, even legally, the marriage only becomes a legally binding thing recognized in law when you have consummated that marriage, when you have had sex. Because it is now the joining of the 2 to become one. So the fact that you haven't exchanged vows with somebody and you are having sex, the 2 have become one. Men, watch who you lay with. Recognize your own garage and park your car there. Would you go and park your car in your neighbor's garage? No, you'll be trespassing. So please, park your car where it belongs. Okay, now I've got a minute left. If I say to you that I've only spoken about 3 points or 4 points in my notes, would you believe me? I didn't, but that's what's happened. There's a part 3, so I'm not worried. There's a part 3 next week, and we have to wrap up next week. So I think rather than me, I had wanted to speak about intimacy next week, the different types of intimacy, which, sexual, spiritual, intellectual, and sexual, spiritual, intellectual, and emotional. Yes. So it's very, very important, So what I'm going to do is, I think I said enough. I'm still going to conclude on today's topic. There's so many things on here. Oh, Lord Jesus, I have got like 18 different points. It's not going to happen tonight, is it? So what I would do is I'm going to conclude. And this is my conclusion. Let me see if I can read some more comments. Guys, if you haven't shared this video, I'm not going to love you anymore. Evelyn says, some people use the silent treatment due to lack of ability to properly communicate. That is true to a very small degree. I would rather say they use the silent treatment so they don't have to communicate. Because it doesn't take too much to say, you did this and I didn't like it. Sometimes you won't even get that. You'll just get the silent treatment. And it's dangerous. It's only there to disempower you. And many times the silent treatment is used so that you will be hesitant in trying to correct a behavior you don't like in the future. That is more often why that silent treatment is used, to frighten you into acceptance of a behavior that you don't like or you don't want. So there's nothing positive about it, and it can be very dangerous and very damaging. It's a very African thing. It's a very, very, very African thing. It's one of the tools that we use. It's like, meaning me, I will not mind them. It's something that we do a lot, and it's nonsense. We need to stop it. Abla says, how you keep the home, how you communicate to each other, respect must be mutual. It really, look, the respect thing with me, I cannot function in a relationship where there is no respect. For me, respect is synonymous with love. My love language is respect. If you respect me, I will love you more. If you disrespect me, I will feel you don't love me. That's my no. Caddy Cat says, the necklace is beautiful on that neck. Thank you so much. I will drop the details of where to get this. This is an Incapo necklace by Makisa Prepra. I will give you her details. She is on Facebook. Nee Osbrook says, let me read your comments. Marriage, the promise of forever, often allows complacency. It isn't treated as delicately as something that could be lost. And that's true. And it's important. In fact, I have that on my notes. It's important to keep the relationship alive by doing things together. So don't be boring. It's like some of you men, you don't take your wives anywhere, but you take your side chick. Let me tell you something. Guys, let me tell you. So you go somewhere and you buy your wife some really nice perfume or a really nice outfit. And you say, baby, and I hope you're calling your wife baby, you, not her. Find a nice name to call your wife. Baby, I bought you this perfume. I've booked a table for us to go somewhere. Wear that perfume. You are going to have the most banging sex when you get back. Trust me. I'm telling you. Look, let me tell you something. It takes very little to please us women. Very little. It is you men that make it complicated. It is you that makes it complicated. Very little. Babe, I bought you this. I want you to wear, oh, it looks good on you. Some of you don't even know how to pay your wife a compliment. So when you aren't making her feel special, how do you expect her to be uninhibited in bed? It's difficult. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is the bit that may not be popular, but like I said, I don't do political correctness here. A lot of men, ladies, and I'm your sister, so I'm going to tell you the truth. They don't, if they like women of a certain size, when you overgo that size, they are not sexually attracted to you. We women like to convince ourselves that if the man loves us, then irrespective of whether we look humongous or we put on loads of weight, it doesn't matter, because if he liked us, it's not about what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. Let me tell you something. My daughter is 15. She asked me today, Mummy, what are you talking about? And I said it's about whether physical attraction is important in a marriage. She goes, of course it is. So I asked her, have you been married before? She goes, no, but of course it's important, because at the end of the day, if you don't marry somebody, she's 15, oh, if you don't marry somebody that you're attracted to, then you're going to be looking at other people that you are attracted to. And then before you realize, you're following the people that you're attracted to. The girl's 15. I know she's my daughter, but on a serious note, she's 15. So it is important that we are able to keep our spouse interested where our appearance is concerned. Personal hygiene. I'm gonna make me go down. Let me help you. Let's have a bit of a biology lesson here. Unless you are practicing oral sex on your husband, if they are not particularly neat, I can't do dirty, so it's not something I've ever experienced in my lifetime. It is not as bad as you, the woman, that has personal hygiene issues from the waist below. It's disgusting. And I have heard people complain, my wife, I'm like, you said dirty, because I don't know how you managed to marry a woman that, Look, sometimes it's difficult to have these conversations with people. So I will be your scapegoat. I will say it for you. You have bad odor under your armpit. Let me help you. Buy lime or lemon, cut it in half, put it under your arm. Let it dry, half an hour. Don't touch it, just half an hour. Let it dry naturally. If you can leave it for an hour, even better. A bit uncomfortable, but it's great. And then wash it off with water. You could stink like a skunk. That thing is gone. Put deodorant on underneath it. I'm telling you, that thing, you will have to do it maybe every 3 months or so. It kills any kind of bad body odor. Ladies, use cold water down below. Put some lime in that water. Wash your nether regions. It keeps you tight and it keeps you clean. When you go to toilets, when you go and poo-poo, wash your yash. Don't just use toilet roll and pull up pants. And then you don't shower before you come to bed at night and you want to be intimate with your spouse. It's disgusting. And I'm being honest with you because, like I said, people speak to me. You people are laughing. Am I lying though? I'm not lying. You know, there's a reason why the rich people have bidets in their bathrooms. Yeah? When you go to toilet and you do a number 2, don't just pull up your knickers, but use water and soap and clean yourself. Because these are all, you're doing wow emoji. Don't wow me, oh. Because these are all the things that sometimes prevents people from wanting to be intimate, but they feel it's difficult to say that, oh, babe, you don't really smell too good. So rather than wait for somebody to tell you, just practice these things daily. It is, look, me. I will not enter that bed unless I have had a shower. I will not even think of being intimate unless I've had, even though I know I don't smell. For me, it's a sign, it's another sign of respect. Let me prepare my body for you to enjoy it. I won't just come anyhow. I will shower. I have different cream I will use on my skin. Perfume. Listen, some of you ladies, I'll be doing some of these workshops, how to keep your man interested in you. It's important. It's important. And you know, if we're not taught these things, I know I say this thing with a lot of humor. If our parents or if our mothers don't teach us these things, who is going to teach us? Some of us, I've had friends who have been in relationship and the relationship keeps failing. One day, my friend was having a shower. I said, that's why you can't keep a man. No water was being used down there. Nothing was going on down there. When I was trying to teach her that this is how you wash, she thought I was joking. I said, girlfriend, I'm being deadly serious. Let me tell you something. When a man is with a woman who is exceptionally neat down below, she's a hard woman to leave and to lose. I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you honestly. Gentlemen, if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. So these are some of the things that I would like to share that, you know, they're not things that we talk about because either we over spiritualize things or we make things too technical. These are basic things. Basic things. You know, take your wife out. Wives, book a place for your husband. You know, even when I'm dating, I will take my man out, and I will pay too. Not on the first date, mind you. First date, if you're not paying, I don't want to know you. You're a cheap ass man. I don't do cheap men. Because everything about you is cheap if you can't pay on the first date. And you asked me, hell to the no. But once we're dating, I will spoil you. I will spoil you. I will spoil you. Women, spoil your husbands. Don't have this attitude that they're the only ones that have to spend money. Buy your man something. Baby, I saw this shirt. I was thinking of you. Here you go. Listen, there is so much we can do to keep our marriages on point and on the money. And they're little things. You don't have to go and kill an in-law or go and do a bunny ritual before your marriage will be jeje. There's little things that you can do. Respect doesn't cost anything. Consideration don't cost anything. Love don't cost anything. Those small things is what will keep your marriage alive. Let me read some of your comments because I've gone way over my time now. Ooh, where do I even start? So, Alison Asafweje, thank you for being on here. Sis, the communication is the better way to enjoy your relationship. By all means, arguments, I think by all means argue, but that makes you know him better and laugh together too. Let me tell you another thing. And because I've not gone in my order, I'll just say as your comments come in and it prompts me. One of the things that I learned from my parents, have been married over 60 years. My father never slept in a separate room from my mother. And I said this before. A lot of times what happens is you have an argument with your spouse. This one will go and sleep this way. This one will sleep that way. Or they'll go and sleep on the couch. It's very stupid and I'll tell you why. When you argue with your spouse, your partner, whatever, and you sleep in different rooms, it makes it more difficult to be able to resolve that conflict. It makes it more difficult. But when you have to come and lie on the same bed, your body definitely would touch each other at some point in the night. You will wake up together. It is very important that you do not employ that very dangerous attitude of having your partner sleep separate from you because you've had an argument. No matter how ugly that argument is, sleep in the same bed. Ladies, because we are the ones fond of this nonsense, don't hide behind your children. Your children do not come first. I repeat, your children do not come first. Your husband or your wife comes first. Any woman or any man that says my wife comes first, my children come first, check your marriage. It's not a good one. The two shall become one. You are the foundation. You are the foundation, and the family is built on top of the two of you together. When you make it all about the kids, and one of you, because one of you is definitely out of that equation. Think about it. It's all about my children. So where does that leave your wife? It's all about my children. Where does that leave your husband? And then when both of them are concentrating just on the kids, they don't know each other. So guess what happens? Children grow. And after they grow, where does that leave the two of you? That's when you realize that it would have been sensible to have made an investment between the two of you. And I've just seen a comment pop up about, what about snoring? Men, if you snore, buy your wife a house. No, on a serious note, doesn't the man have to fall asleep before you snore? Give the man something to snore about now. Give the man something to snore about. Look, they're snoring and they're snoring. You have, how can I put it? You have entry-level snore, and then you have executive snore. Executive snore can be brought on by alcohol or sex or both. Give your husband the executive snore. Don't use the excuse, I snore, that's why I say lie. Because if the sex was good, it doesn't matter if the man was snoring. Hey, listen, you would even encourage him to say, baby, snore some more. I know I must have given you some better sex. Snore some more. Lie. Don't hide behind any snoring. Which guy's snoring? Please, I beg. Kilo D. What kind of snoring? Just stop the lies, man. Let me read some more comments. Malcolm, how are you doing? Malcolm says, the silent treatment is totally destructive to a relationship. Stop laughing. There has to be frank communication and the mutual trust and respect to feel able to express it. Guys, please, if you're watching, do share. Hi, Stephanie Binder. How are you doing? I haven't seen you for a while. Mary Bangura Mbayo. I love your name. Thank you for watching. Charlene Jervis. Ooh, there are so many comments here. I have invited a family member to join. Wonderful. Thank you, Cyrilonian Pearl. And I hope you guys are all coming to the live launch of Speak with Dilys on the 22nd of April in St. Paul's in London at the Royal Leonardo Hotel. VIP tickets are $49.99. Champers, canapes, premium seating, private party, 6:30 for you guys. Gold ticket holders starts at 7:30 for $19.99. Please do be there. Sponsorship is still required for this show, so please do let me know. If you know anybody that knows how to live stream, please get in touch with me. I am so not techie at all. I'm really struggling with technical whatevers. I would like to be able to live stream the event on the night. Please get in touch with me if you know anyone that can help me in that area. I would be very grateful. Okay, Smokey. So Victoria Bab says, thank you. My first time on your platform. Thank you for being here then. That's great. The silent strategy is bad. Couples need to communicate to resolve anything in the family. I absolutely agree with you, Victoria. Lovely to have you on here. I always love seeing new people. Caddy says, so correct. Sex is spiritual. Oh, yes, it is. Juanita, Aminata, thank you for being on here. Let me see. Frederica, Lucy. Hello, my sweetheart. How are you doing? Word woman, I love you. How are you doing? I've known Lucy since she was that high. Selma, thank you for being on here as well. Ajwa Proper said, the time has gone so quickly. It has. And you know what? Hey, Chanel Hudson's in the house. Hello, Chanel. How is mum? I hope I see you on the 22nd. Community penis increases the risk of infecting wives with HIV, which may lead to HPV, which may lead to cervical cancer for your wife in later life. You're absolutely right. And that's aside from the obvious. But spiritually, you're affecting your home because you are now tied somewhere. All of you is not at home, and it's important. Caddy says, Dilys, please address here. Okay, so then go on to Eventbrite. So eventbrite.com or .co.uk and type in Speak with Dilys. If you go on there, the tickets should be live. If they are not, there is a waiting list that you can go onto. The first people on there will get the complimentary tickets, but they're the standard gold complimentary tickets. Go on there and start to reserve your tickets now. If you don't get a ticket and the place is full and I sell out, don't look at me. Anita Agri says, Dilys, honestly, some of the men who are unfaithful to their wives are not good performers between the sheets. Once a woman knows they're no good, they need to move on to the next. So glad you've mentioned the spiritual implications. Creating soul ties with numerous people is dangerous. That's true. And yeah, and I think what Anita is saying, because we've spoken before, where there are men who are really crap in bed because they're not particularly well endowed, maybe one of the reasons, and therefore they hop from woman to woman because they can't really satisfy a woman, which is true. But again, it's about that communication. Sexual contact does not just have to be penetrative sex. So I keep my show real, because when you're dealing with real lives, you can't be doing over spiritual, you can't be doing shy and coy. I'm 50 years of age. I don't have time to be shy. I'm too old for that. You understand? So yes, sometimes, you've got to be honest and say, look, this doesn't feel good for me sexually. And I think, and this is another thing that I was going to speak about, that you've got to be honest with your spouse about what you feel comfortable doing. A man or a woman who may be very, very sexually experienced with multiple partners and has now settled down, to you that's had 3 partners, depending on what those 3 partners were like, that other person may have way more experience than you and may suggest things that you don't find either acceptable or comfortable. Nobody should be forced. You should be able to say, I don't really like that. And the other party needs to be patient. If you want your marriages to work, start respecting your wife and your husband in and out of the bedroom. It is important. What may be comfortable for you sexually may not be comfortable for somebody else sexually. I read, something from a woman who was saying that her husband only liked anal sex. Let's not go about what his sexuality may or may not have been, to the point where it was making her ill. Why the hell are you still in that marriage? It's ridiculous. But yes, I'm saying if it doesn't feel comfortable, then you should be able to say, I don't like it, I don't want it, and it's not good for me. And stick to it. And if your husband is not listening, then you need to seek help, because that's an abusive marriage, and that's a dangerous marriage, and that's a marriage that, is taking you to hell. So make sure that you reach out. I'm always there. You can inbox me. Any conversation that is had in my inbox is confidential. I do not share it with the name of the person, and sometimes I may change certain elements of it, just for confidentiality's sake. So as a coach, part of my training, it's like seeing your doctor. It's confidential, okay? I just thought I'd put that in there. And also, my consultations currently are free, where you have 30 minutes of my time to discuss whatever you need to discuss, and then you can decide if you want to work with me. Take advantage of it, because I'm telling you now, after this year, I will not be coaching anymore. I will not be, okay? Alrighty, so Lucy says, hey, silent treatment, my own is continuous communication. Absolutely, me, Mrs. Communication is the key. I see that a lot of you are really talking, most of your comments are about communication. So clearly it's something that many of us have struggled with. I'm not exempt from that. Believe you me, the communication, it's a big one. Lorne says, thanks for the message. You're very welcome. Someone else says communication on a manipulative move. Yep. Evangeline, thanks for being on here. Lynette says, the silent treatment is like a mind game. As you said, it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. Okay, there's so many messages on here. I'm just scrolling. Sherelle says, for curiosity, are you Sagittarian? No, I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. I don't do star signs. I used to, many years ago, before I got into church, I realized that it was not for me at all. So no, I don't do that. Anita says, it's akin to spiritual orgy. Sleep with multiple partners. That is a brilliant way of putting it. A spiritual orgy. Absolutely correct. Faith says, I always lay my cards on the table sexually before I even enter into that relationship. Very good. Just be honest. Ladies, that you've been told that nice ladies don't like sex is a lie. It's nonsense. And all you silly men looking for women that are not sexually experienced, just be real and don't be a hypocrite. If you meet with your wife, whatever, you get married and she's very expressive in the bedroom, enjoy it, because she's married to you. She ain't sharing herself. Get over it, enjoy it, and build that sexual intimacy together. So conclusion, have things always been like this? If they have, then you've got a lot of work to do. If they haven't, then go back to that place where you can be honest with each other, be loving, be respectful, and have that conversation in a non-confrontational way. My advice to you is you book a weekend away if you can afford it, or you book a table somewhere and you have the conversation away from the home, because it's neutral ground and it's less, It's less confrontational, and it's more difficult to shout when you are in public, unless you are very bush and have no class. But if you're not bush people and you're in a nice restaurant, you can say, darling, we have this issue in our marriage. I would like to talk about it and see how best we can resolve it. Like I said, create a safe space for that conversation. Be honest about how you feel. If you feel you cannot express it verbally, write it down. If you feel you cannot write it down, I am here. I am a relationship coach. I am a marriage coach. Talk to me. Come with your spouse. I have counseled couples, or coached rather, couples before. Very respectful to both parties. I don't put down one in support of the other. I am a neutral person to basically give both of you the perspective on each other. If you are in that situation, contact me. Why are you afraid of intimacy? Go back to your roots. Is it from your childhood? Did you suffer any kind of abuse? What is it that is stopping you from being intimate? Because when you can address that, then you'll be able to resolve the issue with your spouse and deal with the attraction thing. Okay, agree the boundaries. As I mentioned before, what is not comfortable for you, don't do it. It has to be about agreement. If you both agree never to have sex again in your marriage, and you both agree that that's what you want to do, it's fine. Your issue is when one party disagrees. Then you've got a problem. Communicate, communicate, communicate. You must support your spouse if they are in that place where they have a history. Like I read, the person that messaged me said that it was many years later that they disclosed to their spouse that they had been a victim of child abuse. I have had a few women like this. In fact, I've had many women like that. At the point at which you're able to disclose to your spouse, men, be sensitive. Be sensitive. Women, because some of your husbands would like to disclose to you their experiences, be sensitive. Okay? And the last but not least is get help if you need it. People like me exist. If you don't like my face, go on to Google somebody's face that you like. Go and say, I like this person, or this person is shorter than Dilys. I would rather they coached me in my marriage, and do that. But do not continue to suffer in silence because you don't need to. Okay, Mimi says, Dilys, thank you so much for your service. May God give you more grace. God bless you. And may God give you more grace too. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I thank you for this wonderful time with these wonderful people this Sunday. I pray that their week will be amazing. I pray that they will have peace, that their marriages will be strengthened, that Lord, where there is confusion, that there will be peace, there will be understanding in the name of Jesus. Father God, I thank you, Lord, for wisdom. I thank you for grace. And I pray that every single person watching this broadcast, that they will be that the change that they want to see, that the change will start with them, that they will be the best part of their marriage because they will take responsibility for it. I pray that, Lord, that even when they come together as husband and wife, that, Lord, that there will be that intimacy there, and that they will come together and the two truly shall become one, and we'll be able to start to build stronger families and raise far greater children who are emotionally balanced because they are seeing good examples of marriage. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name, amen. That's me done. We done gone to church. Guys, me tired now. William, how can anyone not like your face? Share. Some people don't like my face, so guys, thank you very much for today. I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't shared, please do share. I shall see you next week at the same time. As I said, tickets for the Speak with Dilys show hopefully it's gone live. The only reason why you don't have the link is because there was a technical difficulty, but the devil is a lie. Those tickets are going to be live very soon. So just keep checking. Guys, I'm very tired. I have a very horrible pain in my neck, but I had to, just keep with you guys. So I'm Doreen from Jamaica. See you later. Amen, Anita, Faye Clinton, and all of that. Well, guys, I will see you next week. Is it Jai Rama says, good night, beautiful, and thank you too. And I hope you guys have found today really helpful. I really do enjoy your company, and hopefully I shall see you on the 22nd. But before then, I shall see ya. Claudette said you missed me. Thank you, I've missed you. See you next week. See you, sis. And I hope I see you guys on the 22nd. Jackie Gordon, thank you as well, and Michelle Gordon as well. Are you related? Victoria Babs, thank you so much. And I really hope that you've enjoyed being here if it's your first time, as you've said. So lovely having you. I shall see you on the 22nd. Some of you guys are now joining. Aisha Stanworth, thank you for being on here. We're wrapping up now. I'm well over my time. But we will be doing part 3 of this subject next week. And then that will be the end. And we'll talk about something else the week after. Okay, guys, I am going. I don't have any wine in the house, unfortunately. But yeah, I need... Oh, Michelle Gordon says, I am late, first time. I'm so sorry. Catch the replay. And hopefully I shall see you next week. We start at 8 o'clock on here. So do follow the page. Switch on your notifications. and you'll know when I'm on here. Bless you, Denise, and Margaret Yeboah, and Monica. Do that, follow the page, and I will see you next week. But right now, my girl is gonna turn out the lights and light a candle. But I am on my own, so there's nobody ringing my bell tonight. So guys, have a good one, have a lovely week, and I shall see you later. Ciao, ciao.